Hey everyone, this is Austin Balk bringing you a holiday cube draft here on Magic Online. Although I guess now it's called the Vintage Cube. They've done away with the moniker of Holiday Cube. But nonetheless, we get to draft some sweet Power 9. Well, not us this time, because we didn't open one in this pack. But there's still some sweet cards in here. Tezzeret Agent of Bolas is pretty good, especially in this cube, because there's a lot more broken artifacts in this format than there are in other iterations of the cube. You've got all the Moxes, you've got a bunch of other accelerators. He can be pretty solid, although obviously very constricting to one color combination and one archetype. There's a Volcanic Island, which I'm a fan of. I don't hate first drafting lands. I don't love it either, but Volcanic Island is one of the better lands in the cube, just because blue and red are, head and shoulders above the others and are more in need of mana fixing out of their lands. Nothing else I'm really looking at here. Grave Titan's fine. There's just like reasonable cards. Every card in the cube is good, but nothing really broken. I'm always trying to do something, over the top and broken in Holiday Cube, because every deck is going to be really good. So that's just my personal goal. Like, that's not true of everyone who approaches the cube, but I'm trying to do something broken, hopefully in blue or red. Here we've got, again, nothing standing out as insanely busted. Hedron Archive is a reasonable ramp card. Ponder is fine. It goes into multiple decks. You're always going to play it when you're in blue. Nothing else really catching my eye once again. Just a bunch of reasonable cards. Zealous Conscripts is notable just because you can combo it with, like, Splinter Twin or Kiki Jiki. So if that was an archetype we wanted to go into, that's usually a blue-red deck anyway. And we've got the Volcanic Island, so we're kind of looking in that direction anyway. I think I'm going to take the Hedron Archive, though, because it leaves us open to doing the most busted things by ramping us into big stuff and, hopefully doing something sweet. Alright, some more exciting cards in this pack. Lion's Eye Diamond, you really have to want it for a specific reason, but sometimes it can be busted if you get like Yawgmoth's Will, Past in Flames, or just trying to storm off or something, but it doesn't look like the direction we're headed right now. Pestermite would have been a good follow-up on the Zealous Conscripts. Young Pyromancer is fine, not exciting. Tendrils if we wanted to go Storm, but I don't think I want to do that. I'm not interested in Abbott. Nicol Bolas is okay. Rakdos Return, pretty good with the Hedron Archive. Leaning towards Pestermite. Gideon Jura is also very good, but I don't love white very much. Pestermite's in a better color. I think I'm just going to take it and hopefully get something going. Wow, this is a good pack. We have Yawgmoth's Will, which is a very good card, very underrated. I feel like that could be a signal that we want to go into some sort of storm/graveyard value deck. Also notably, we have Strip Mine and Crucible of Worlds in this pack. That's the natural combo, the reason why you want to play either or both of those cards, really. So if I could, like, take one and try to wheel the other one, that could be something. But I'm kind of leaning towards Yawgmoth's Will. We can try to go for like a Storm deck. It's the most broken card in the pack for sure. Garruk Wildspeaker's fine. Trinket Mage is fine. Better in this cube than in others. There's a lot more good cheap artifacts to get. Yeah, right, I'll take Yawgmoth's Will. Try to do something busted. And this is not a great pack to follow it up with. Ral Zarek is okay. It's in blue-red, which is colors I said I wanted to be in. Shackles is also very good. If we were just going for a blue-red control value type deck. This isn't really a cube where this card shines. It's still a good card, but, the games aren't as grindy and creature-based as normal cubes. Sort of comes down to who can do the most broken thing, and Shackles isn't particularly broken. It's just really good value. So I'm leaning towards Ral Zarek. I've also got the Hedron Archive, so if we get some other sweet artifacts to untap with it, get some more value out of it. Everflowing Chalice is another example of that. Other than that, Nissa Worldwaker, reasonable. Siege Commander, reasonable. None of these cards super exciting. I'll just take the Chalice. Gitaxian Probe is meh. I guess it's good if we wanted to go in Storm, although the only Storm card we really have right now is the Will. Well, I guess technically our 2 artifacts could go into a Storm deck just fine. Eternal Witness is okay. Playable in a Storm deck if you can cast her reliably. Functions as like a Snapcaster Mage or whatever for your Brain Freeze or whatever your win condition is. But I would rather have Gitaxian Probe if that was the direction we were going. Not quite sure what our deck's trying to do yet, but Gitaxian Probe is a potential inclusion. Nothing amazing here. Sphinx's Revelation's not horrible with the accelerators we have. We can just touch on a white splash or something if we wanted to. Yeah, I'm not in love with any of these cards. Spell Pierce I think is probably where I want to go with this though. This card's really, really good in this cube. There's a lot of broken non-creature stuff to be doing. It's always going to be good, always going to get its man. Wield Mystical Tutor, that's kind of interesting. So we still have a back door to go into Storm. See if we wheel that Tendrils of Agony or not. I think it was in the pack after this one. This pack's not very good. We'll take a Storm Breath. Well, we got Lion's Eye Diamond, and we do have the Yawgmoth's Will, so I'm not ruling it out just yet. So yeah, I'll take the Lion's Eye Diamond since we have the Will. Looks like we're not getting the Tendrils, but that's okay, because Tendrils is not the Storm card I actually love as my win condition. I prefer Brain Freeze, even Empty the Warrens. Cloudskate, actually not horrible in Storm, because you can cast it for free, essentially, if you suspend it. Of course, the downside is you have to go off that turn, but Firebolt is okay. Siege Commander. We also have the backdoor of just going for a mid-range blue-red deck if the Storm thing fails. We don't have that many cards that go great in Storm. We haven't really seen the payoff cards other than Yawgmoth's Will, which we picked up pretty early. Plus someone took that Tendrils, so we know we're going to be fighting with someone in a future pack. I'm not really sure where we want to go just yet, but we've got some good cards. We've got our feet planted in 2 different archetypes, and we can choose whichever one appears to be more open. Alright, pack number 2, and we get a power, so pretty happy with Mox Ruby. It would be the pick even if we weren't in red, and even if we weren't going for potential Storm deck, so pretty happy about that. Other than that, Impulse is nice, Jace isn't bad, Outpost Siege isn't bad, Hallowed Fountain I wouldn't mind. Again, just reasonable cards all around. But yeah, Mox Ruby, pretty easy pick. Now we've got some options. I like Rakdos Signet, even if we aren't going for Storm. Solid fixing, solid acceleration. I also just remember that we had the Tezzeret Agent of Bolas that we passed in the first pack, so we could be fighting someone for the, the blue artifact cards as well, so we might get some resistance on both ends of that, from Storm and from, blue mid-range ramp, so that's a little unfortunate. Watery Grave is also nice, since we have the Yawgmoth's Will, and we're probably going to be splashing black, or at the very least, have black somewhere in our deck, whether it's made one of our secondary colors or just a splash, but Rakdos Signet does a similar job as Watery Grave anyway, fixing us for black. It's just a very solid card. If we cast it on a Storm turn, it only essentially costs just 1 mana, because you can tap it for mana immediately. which is nice. Nothing I live here. What does this card do? Not in love with that. The ability is relevant in this format because a lot of decks are going to be blue and have artifacts in their deck. I do like Pentad Prism though. Another card that could go well in Storm or just in a regular mid-range deck to accelerate us into our good 4 and 5 drops. Crater's Claws, not in love with it. Nothing else really stands out. Bring to Light is actually not horrible, but you know, we can go get Yawgmoth's Will with it or something. But the problem with that is obviously we'd need to have mana left over after we spend 5 for the Bring to Light, so it's not what I'm really looking for in a tutor. What do we have here? We have a Bazaar of Baghdad, which we could try to make something work with. Fill up our graveyard for Yawgmoth's Will. We don't have any mana accelerate. Well, I guess the artifacts can be cast off of Yawgmoth's Will. This doesn't work like Past in Flames. You can cast anything from your yard, which includes lands and artifacts and creatures and all that. Godless Shrine, nah. Spellskite, no. Murderous Cut, no. Yeah, I'll take the Bazaar. Ooh, I like Metalworker. I've got a pretty good number of artifacts already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can make this work, make a ton of mana. This gives us another out to do something big and broken with lots of mana. There's also an Ugin in this pack, which is really nice. Something good to cast with Metalworker, but unfortunately they're in the same pack. Divining Top's also good. Frantic Search also very good in the Storm deck. Metalworker though is just awesome and leaves us more open to draft other strategies if we get completely cut off of what we're trying to do. Here's a Seething Song, so we can keep the dream alive, even though we don't actually have a Storm card yet. I'm hoping that we'll get like a Brain Freeze or something at some point. What else do we have in this pack that would be good? Jace Beleriand's pretty good. Temple of Deceit wouldn't mind, but it's less high on my radar than like a Watery Grave or an Underground Sea, because then if we pick up a fetch land, we can go get black. But Thoughtseize is not bad either, but we're looking like we're not going to be black as one of our main colors, so yeah, I'm happy with Seething Song. Through the Breach, we don't have anything for it. Brainstorm's fine. Much worse than Ponder. We don't actually have any ways to shuffle right now, which is a bit of a problem. I guess we have the Mystical Tutor. It looks like it's it, though, for the moment. Don't have any fetch lands or anything. But I guess that's what I'm taking. There's nothing else I want. Unless I wanted to take a Roast just to keep myself alive, but don't think that's where I want to be. Ooh, Basalt Monolith. Okay. So our plan right now is just to make a bunch of mana and then do something with it. I just haven't figured out what yet, but there's plenty of big broken things you can find to do in this cube, so I'm sure we'll pick up something. Jace Architect of Thought Wield, but so did Kadoltha Forgemaster, which could be a win condition at this point. We have a lot of artifacts to sacrifice. Now we can pick up just like a Blightsteel Colossus or a Mirror Battlesphere or something and go to town on people. So that looks like a reasonable out in case our Storm plan fails. Quicken works with Yawgmoth's Will to an extent. We can go like end of turn, Quicken, Yawg Will, Quicken, Brainstorm or something. Dualcaster Mage is playable, but not really the deck for it. If we copy a Seething Song, it's pretty nice, but it's the only card it really works well with. Bring to Light, Wield. Fixing's not really looking like it's up to the task of casting a Bring to Light at the moment. So I'll probably just take this Thada Adele and probably put it in the sideboard in case we play against the other guy taking islands and artifacts. Murderous Cut and Terminate both came back. Guess Murderous Cut's slightly better. Ooh, Lightning Greaves. It's actually one of the cards I was hoping for, because we have the Forge Master. So now if we pick up a Blightsteel Colossus, we have an actual legitimate way to win. Wow, second to last pick Sword, that's pretty embarrassing. I might play that, but I probably won't. And we get Roast last pick. So, unexpected turn of events. I thought we were waffling between two different potential archetypes, and I ended up in a third one completely, but kind of like where we're going with this.